Good morning, fifth grade online learners. Welcome to science class, March 16th, 2021, with me, Mr. Monzo. We are learning about electricity, and I looked down at my book for a second, and we are on this page in our books. We're on page F104, and I am so fortunate today to have 6 volunteers that are going to read this lesson for all you people at home. Now, the study guide is not posted yet, but it will be shortly. So look for that probably sometime this afternoon. But in the meantime, you can read the lesson. And the study guide, you don't really need it till Thursday night to study anyway. So electricity is what we're talking about. And first up, we have Kelly. So Kelly, come on up, and she's going to read page F104. Kelly, thank you.
Static and current electricity. Have you ever rubbed a balloon on a carpet, then placed it against a wall? The balloon might stay on the wall for a minute or longer. This happens because of its static electricity. An electric force between non-moving electric charges. When you rub a balloon against certain kinds of carpet, electrons from the carpet will jump to the balloon. The balloon acquires an overall negative charge because of the extra electrons. Rub a balloon against plastic, however, and the electrons will jump off the balloon. The balloon is left with an overall positive charge because it now has fewer electrons.
Very good, Kelly, for page F104. Next, we will continue our discussion of electricity with Maddie. Maddie, come on up.
Charged objects exert
Yep, exert force.
exert a force on one another. Two objects with the same charges repel or push away from each other. Study the photo of the two blue balloons. Both have a negative charge, so they repel each other. Two positively charged balloons would repel each other too. Two objects with opposite charges attract or pull toward each other. Look at the photo of the blue and orange balloons. They have opposite charges, so they attract each other. Have you ever walked across a thick carpet, then touched a metal doorknob? The doorknob might have given you a slick shock. I can't say them. Shock. You may have even seen a spark. This is a discharge or release of static electricity. Electrons will move between you and the doorknob. Lightning is another example of a discharge, only on a large scale. A discharge of static electricity can release a lot of energy, but only for a very brief amount of time. To provide a steady flow of electric charge, you need to create an electric current. An electric current is continuous flow of electric charge through a pathway.
Okay, very good job, Maddie. And next we have our good friend Evelyn. Come on up, Evelyn.
Is page F106.
Yes.
Batteries and fuel cells. A battery contains one or more electrochemical cells. The cells use chemical reactions to create an electric current. The cell shown here uses manganese dioxide, powdered zinc, and a paste called an electrolyte. When wires connect the battery to a load, such as a light bulb. The chemical reactions begin and electric current flows. Zinc loses electrons which move through the brass nail and out the negative terminal. They travel through the wires and light bulb, then return to the positive terminal. The electrons are picked up by the manganese dioxide. Notice that the cell separates the zinc and the manganese dioxide. If the two came into contact, the electrons would flow inside the battery instead of through the wires and light bulb. Eventually, either the zinc or the electrolyte would be used up. The chemical reactions will stop and the battery will no longer work. Bring used batteries to a battery recycling center. Batteries contain chemicals that are toxic to humans and can harm the environment. There are many different types of batteries. Car batteries use lead and acid and can be recharged for use over and over again. In the future, fuel cells may replace the batteries. Fuel cells run by combining oxygen and hydrogen to form water, creating an electric current in the process. Their advantage is that they keep running so long that they have enough fuel. NASA space missions have used a type of fuel cell since 1960s. The fuel cell provide both electricity and drinking water for the astronauts. Fuel cell technology for everyday use is still being researched. One problem is how to supply the hydrogen.
Okay, very good. And next up, we have our good friend Parker Breeze. Come on up, PB&J.
What makes the electricity that powers your and school? The answer is an electric generator, a device that converts mechanical kinetic energy to electrical energy. A friction generator, such as the one shown on the bicycle, converts the mechanical kinetic energy of the spinning wheel into electrical energy. In the electric generator, a loop of wires is turned very rapidly through the magnetic field. This produces an electric current in the wire. What turns the loop of wire? The mechanical energy to turn the wire can come from many sources, including the turning wheels of a bicycle, as you will read on the next page. At electric power plants, the energy to turn the wires may come from burning fossil fuel, moving water, wind, or even splitting atoms. Solar cells provide another way to generate electricity. Solar cells are made of semiconductors such as silicon. When sunlight strikes, electrons were knocked out of silicon atoms, allowing an electric current to flow.
All right, very good job, Parker. And one of our volunteers decided to not read, so we are going to let Amelia do the last page because she was going to be our sixth reader, and that was just kind of a summary. So Amelia, will you read the last page? And I appreciate everybody else sitting calmly and quietly while we're doing this. I'm not trying to make other people laugh. Okay, go ahead, Amelia.
electricity that powers your home comes from a power plant at almost all power plants. Electricity is made using the same type of electric generators, but the energy sources used to power the generators differ. Many power plants burn coal or other fossil fuels. The burning coal is used to heat water and make steam. The steam turns turbines, which are the large fans. The turning turbines power the electric generators. Hydroelectric power plants use running water to turn turbines. These plants rely on river dams to channel the water to the turbines. Nuclear power plants use the energy found inside an atom in a process called nuclear fission. Are spilled apart. The energy released is used to heat water and make steam, which turns turbines just as in a coal-burning power plant.
Okay, thank you, Amelia. Now, that is still recording even though the screen goes blank. So just let me do a brief summary of each page. It's kind of hard to understand everybody with the masks on. But on page 104, we talked about static electricity, and they showed an example of two kids rubbing balloons together. And then on 105, they talk about how these charges can repel or attract to each other, and they use the balloons as an example. And again, all this is in your study guide in case you, like I said, sometimes it's hard to hear with the masks on. 106 talked about a battery, and that's that type of battery. There's many types of batteries out there. The next page talked about road signs and how we use solar power for electricity or electricity to power the light on a bicycle. And on the last page, Amelia was reading, it's all about a dam. And in the last class, we talked briefly about in Las Vegas, without the dam, we would not have Las Vegas if we didn't have the Hoover Dam, because there wouldn't be any water and there wouldn't be any source of electricity from the dam. So 5th grade online learners, there's your lesson. We'll continue to discuss this throughout the week. Quiz on Friday, only 2 journal entries this week. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.